welcome back to She Meets City. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. If you are into like DIYs, organization, bullet journal, hair, anything in the above, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned, and hopefully you enjoy this content. And for all of my returning subscribers, what's up? Nice to see you guys again, and you know the drill. Let's jump into it. You guys can tell by the title, this will be a like septum piercing like FAQ / story time video, because I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube, and not saying that a ton of them are bad, it's just not a lot of really in-depth like good quality videos. I'm sorry, I gotta say it. I figured I would do one to hopefully help anyone out there that is curious, or maybe you just want to hear a crazy story about someone getting pierced 3 times in their nose for one piercing. This is the story. As many of you probably have been through in your life, when you want a piercing or a tattoo or even a different hair color, it's something that you know that you want, but sometimes it just takes the right moment in time for you to say, okay, I'm going to pull the trigger and I'm going to do this. And for me, that was basically when I moved to New York. I felt like you see so many people in this city that I just kept seeing beautiful women with their septum pierced, and I was just like, I just want it pierced so badly. I've just always wanted this, and it just seemed like a good time to do it. So roughly 3 months ago, I called up Dustin. It was like a Friday after work, and I was like, meet me at this shop. I want to document this. I'm going to get my septum pierced, and I was so excited. Of course, I had done research over years and years of wanting to get this done, but this just felt like the right time. So I ended up at a tattoo shop that I found on Yelp that had really good reviews. And I walked in there for my appointment. They set me up with a piercer, and I thought all was well. Now, the first thing about this tattoo shop that just didn't rub me the right way was that it just felt very dark to me. I don't know how many people may have encountered a bad experience in this tattoo parlor based on their setup and just being really cramped and really dark. So I gave it the benefit of a doubt due to the good reviews, and the piercer basically gave me her spiel about, you know, taking care of it, what it's gonna feel like. She showed me her cleaning, her setup, and her needle and whatever. Then I went through the piercing process. Now, if any of you have never really seen the septum piercing process up close, they basically will take a clamp. To me, it kind of looks like tongs, like kitchen tongs that you would cook with, but they put a clamp on your nose, and that to me is probably the most painful part. And they start kind of moving and feeling around, because basically they're looking for your sweet spot, and the sweet spot is just a place like in your nose, right where the septum is at, that is a thin piece of skin. It is the sweet spot, or, you know, perfect spot for a piercer to put a needle through, have, you know, good placement, avoid infection. Of course, it's more favorable to the person being pierced because it doesn't hurt as much. So that was basically what I could feel her looking around for, and I was expecting it. After a little bit of moving around and feeling, she told me she found the spot and she was going to pierce. I did a deep breath in, and when I breathe out, the needle was through. I would say what it feels like really is like what everyone else says, which is like you get punched in the face really quick and then it's over, or you're getting like a major like nose hair pulled. It just really makes your eyes water. If you've ever accidentally like hit your nose or like pulled a nose hair, you know what I'm talking about. Your eyes just automatically start welling up, and it's not because you're crying. So went through that. My eyes definitely watered up, but I thought, okay, it's over. She's gonna put the jewelry in and I'm done. That's not what happened. The piercer actually did that look that we all hate. If your doctor, your dentist, your tattoo artist, your spouse does this look to you, you're probably gonna be concerned. And it's the step back and peer. Nobody likes that look, and that's what she did. And that's when I knew something was not right. I looked at Dustin, and he was kind of sitting over there like, what the heck is going on, bro? And she basically said, I don't like it, it's crooked. Like very nonchalant. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, okay. Got a needle through my face. I really hope this is not what happens with tattoos as well. She steps back, she's like, we're gonna take it out and do it again. So she removes the needle, and when she does, like obviously my nose starts, like it's sore, and I could feel it starting to bleed. So she lays me back. I have a paper towel over my face. I'm just blotting, and she gets the second needle ready and out of the packaging. This time again, I'm thinking, how is she gonna pierce it again in the sweet spot if she just did the sweet spot? So I'm also worried, but because I'm already in this enormous amount of pain, I'm like, why not do it again, right? So I sit up confidently, and then she tells me, no, I think it's better if you lay down. This will be better if you do it like this, which still concerned me. But here she goes again with the needle. I breathe in, she pushes through, and this time, you guys, I'm telling you, I knew something was up because there's pain. Like, I will say I have a high pain tolerance. Like, I'm a G when it comes to that. I've had a tattoo done for over 5 hours. Like, I know what pain feels like. No, this felt like not like a punch in the face, more of like a stomp to the face, and like a repeated stomp, like maybe multiple stomps. Like, maybe someone is just like, I don't know. It was bad. Like, I knew something was wrong. And I remember squinting and Dustin being like, whoa, are you okay? Because he noticed that wasn't how I reacted the first time. And I was kind of looking at him like, no, I'm not. But I'm really, and this is a bad habit, but I'm the type of person who doesn't really like to tell people how to do their job, because I hate people doing that to me in my work environment or in school or anywhere else. So I tried to give her the benefit of a doubt, and I sat up, she put the jewelry in, and the way that she looked at it, I could still feel like something was not right. She walked me upstairs, she gave me all the cleaning solution I need. She was a sweetheart, but the amount of pain that I was in, I was just kind of frustrated because that wasn't what I expected my first experience to be after waiting like over 5 years to get it done. This was not what I expected it to be like. I end up leaving, we get on the train, it is throbbing the whole way home. Like, I literally felt like a heartbeat in my nose, and it hurt, it was sore. I got home, I was miserable. I was telling Dustin like, oh, it's just so bad. Like, I tried putting ice on it, that didn't work. I made sure to clean it up just in case. There was still like blood on the Q-tip, which didn't make sense to me because most people don't bleed with septum piercings. I'm there checking it out in the mirror, being obsessive because it's something new in your face and you just kind of have to get acclimated to it. So I clean it up, and then I'm sitting on the couch and I'm taking selfies, like sending to my sister like, oh, check it out, I finally did it. And in one of the pictures, it's just like, and it was closer up, it just didn't look right to me. Like, I felt like it wasn't sitting right in my nose. And so I get up, I go to the bathroom, and I get really, up close and personal, and it looked crooked. Like, straight up, I'm sorry, it looked crooked. I'm standing there like, why is this side closer to the front than this side? And I end up like wiggling it, and there's just a lot of give, and I'm just like, this is not right. And so I start obsessing about it, and I get online, I'm reading, and supposedly getting a septum piercing like really symmetrical and straight across is extremely hard. Like, even some of the best piercers out there say this is one of the most like difficult piercings to do. It will basically never be perfect. And so I knew that off the bat, but it was kind of like, nah, like, this one is really crooked, and like, I'm very obsessive when it comes to those things. I'm that person that will go to the nail salon, they'll paint my shit like jacked up, and I'll come home and take it off after I just paid for nail polish. Like, that's the type of person that I am. There was no way I was gonna leave a crooked piece of jewelry in my face. So I come out, I ask Dustin, and I know that he's trying to be nice and supportive, so he's like, oh no, it looks okay. And then when I start grilling him, like, tell me the truth, I need to know, then he's like, yeah, it's crooked, babe, I'm sorry. At that point, I was just crying, because it was like, how do these things just keep happening to me? Like, I tell Dustin all the time, story of my life, because that's just what it is. Like, this shit always happens to me. Like, just quirky, really weird, like Seinfeld shit that always happens. It's like an ongoing episode that never ends. I'm just sitting there all night, just like on my phone, swiping through other girls with their cute septum piercing, just feeling like a piece of crap. I have this huge ring that I don't like, that's like hanging down like at my Cupid's bow, and I'm just like, oh, I don't like this. So I just told Dustin, like, tomorrow I'm getting it taken out. This is not what I want. We wake up the next morning, and that was just the mission. Find a place to take this damn thing out of my face. So I go to 2 different shops that ended up, one wasn't open, one didn't do piercings, and then we eventually end up back in the apartment. I start doing some Googling and some research, and this piercer's name kept popping up, and the name was Star. Lo and behold, she's in New York. She's in my city. So I'm like, oh, that's where I'm going. They don't do appointments for Star particularly, so you have to do a walk-in. So we knew we had to wait. It was a Saturday. We end up down there. This is in Lower Manhattan near Chinatown, and we just sit there for about an hour. We wait for her. She ends up coming up to us. She's extremely sweet and accommodating, and I just got like hit with a ton of useful information from her that I didn't know, that of course I'll be sharing with you all, so that you're ready to question your next piercer or kind of be ready for these things. She gave me all the information that I needed, and she helped me take it out. And while she didn't want to bash on the other piercer, she did tell me, like, yeah, not only was it crooked, the incorrect jewelry was used, things like that, which just made me feel better. Like, Sheena, you weren't crazy. Like, it just wasn't done right. She took it out, told me about the healing process, and told me to come back and see her in a month. Well, that was about 2.5 weeks ago, and this piercing, this new septum, was done by Star. So I go back, check her out. Okay, hey guys, here with Dustin. It's my birthday, and I'm gonna get the septum re-pierced. I'm here to see Star, who is amazing, and she's gonna make all this right. So I guess that's it. Stay tuned. Again, she's super informative. She's making me feel comfortable about the whole thing. She's talking me through the whole process. Breathe in, breathe out, and it's in there. And on top of it, she helped me choose this ring because I told her my needs, that I wanted it to be very inconspicuous. I wanted it to be cute. My end goal was to have a hoop and not the horseshoe, things like that. So she helped to get me set up, and it ended up being perfect. She even said to me, like, I'm so happy with this piercing. You have like a feline shaped like nose structure here, so it works beautifully. Like, she gave me all the extra like confidence that I needed to know that it was done right and that it looked right. And to even have Dustin like look at me when I sat up, he was like, whoa, that looks nice. That's when I knew, because I didn't get that comment from him from the first one. Long story short, Star did my piercing. I'm still in love with it. We are rolling up on 3 weeks now, and I'm still happy. Hey guys, so I just came downstairs with the piercing specialist Star, and she did an amazing job. I'm so happy. You guys can probably barely see it because it's so dainty and cute, but it doesn't hurt. I'm not bleeding, and it took like 5 minutes total. So I am really, really happy, and I will give you guys a sit-down update later when I'm at home. But that's it. So now I'm going to roll through the really quick, like basic FAQs that many people want to know, and hopefully this part is very useful. Number 1, the pain tolerance. Everyone is different. I have very high pain tolerance, except when it comes to bumping the pinky toe on something, I will cry like a bitch. But for anything else, pretty high. So I would say on a scale from 1 to 10, knowing that I have tattoos and other piercings, probably a 5, probably a solid 5, and that's when it's done correctly and it goes through the sweet spot. That's just what it feels like. Not much soreness after that. Number 2 is aftercare. When it comes to that, the things I was given between Star and the other piercer, the first thing was this Provon antimicrobial lotion soap. And basically when I'm in the shower and I'm washing my face, I will also take some of this, put it on my like pinkies, and I'll just get in there and I'll rotate and I'll clean until I know that it's 100%. Then when I get out of the shower, or if I'm just out of the shower in general and I'm going to bed or whatever, I'll use this wound wash that Star gave to me, and I just kind of spray it on some Q-tips, and I get in there and I swirl and I clean around the wound. And I go in, I clean it really well, to where I'll even get my phone flashlight and make sure that all is well, because I definitely don't want this part of my face to be infected. Next part about cleaning that's kind of gross, but I feel like I have to tell you guys because it's something that I went through, is as your piercing starts to heal from the inside, from around your septum, it will start to get crusty, and that's just the way that things heal. Like, even if you have like a wound on your hand, you'll notice that it kind of scabs and crusts up, and then it goes back to its normal pigment, its normal texture. It's just the way that our skin heals. So it starts to get crusty around the sides, and basically if you attempt to turn the horseshoe at all, like give it any movement from side to side, and that crustiness goes anywhere through the hole, my gosh, that pain is like, I'm telling you, I get like the eye twitch. Like, that's how bad it hurts. And again, my pain tolerance is high. So by any means necessary, try not to swing your horseshoe around or flip it around too much, because if the crust is on there and you haven't cleaned and it happens to go through the hole, you're in for a world of hurt. I warned you. Number 3, healing time. Star and the artist from the beginning, or the piercer from the beginning, told me it would be about 3 to 6 months. Everyone is different. I'm on 2.5 weeks, and I can tell you, I can comfortably pull on it. I can move it around, and it doesn't really hurt. Like, there's really no pain to it. Maybe a little soreness because I turned it when there were crusties, and it definitely hurt this morning. So beyond that, though, it's healing really fast. To be at 2.5 weeks and it's comfortable, that's pretty good for me. I would say the soreness stopped about after a week. And again, this is when it's done right. The first time I got pierced, it was even hard to sleep that night because it was that sore. And that's how you know that it was probably not put in the right place, and you should probably get it checked out. But if you feel soreness after a week, still chill and give it some time. After 2 weeks, go visit your piercer and make sure everything is okay, and never hurts to check. Number 4, the do's and don'ts. So do not walk in and not ask your piercer any questions. That's what I did, because again, I assume everyone just knows how to do their job, and I tried not overstep that line. Ask questions, because this is your face and they can really mess you up. And I ended up getting lucky because I got it taken out right away and I healed up okay. But what if she really like jacked up my septum? These are just questions that you have to ask. These people, like, you are not a push pin ball. You are not here to be tested on. People need to know what they're doing. So definitely ask your piercer questions in the beginning before they're putting a needle through your face. Don't be like me. Don't be stupid. Other like do and don't that I recommend you look into is your jewelry. Something that I found out from Star and then I went and backed up with research is that getting surgical steel put into a new piercing, a new wound, is actually not a good thing. Sometimes seeing surgical steel, we're like, oh, it's top of the line steel. It's the best shit out there. And that's not what it means. The way that Star put it, that should not stay in your body. It's meant for temporary use. And a septum piercing takes 3 months to heal. Do you really want something in your body for 3 months that should not be there? That's usually why a lot of people's body will reject piercings. You keep hearing about this. A lot of the times it's associated with cheap jewelry that's 5 cents to make in China, and they just shove it into your face. Do your research. Make sure the piercing does not have threading on it. And I'll be sure to include a photo because Star showed me one as well. But threading is when the end of the piercing has like that, I don't know, like grooves to it, almost like grooves like for a screw, and pushing that through a piercing can actually damage the hole additional on top of it already being a piercing, and then it can also mess with the healing process. So again, do your research. This stuff is out there, but just know that most shops use the cheap jewelry and then just throw it into your face. You're allowed to question the jewelry, and you're allowed to bring your own if needed. You don't have to go with their cheap material that they put in everyone. Do your research. Number 5 is cost. When I went to the first shop, it was cheaper. It was closer to about $50, and Dustin did tip her well. And with Star, she was closer to maybe the $70 range, and we definitely made sure that we tipped her well because she did an amazing job, and she's basically the only person I'll ever let pierce me again for as long as I live in this country. Say last but not least, number 6? If you want it, just go out there and get it. There are not many tips or YouTube videos that you can watch out here to give you the courage to go. If you don't sum up that courage to go, then maybe it's not for you. There is nothing to be afraid of as long as you do your research. And like I said, scope out the right artist, the right piercer, and make sure it's the right thing to do. There's no video that's going to make you make that decision, but it is always useful to hear from other people and their experiences. Hope that my crazy experience helped you all out. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'm thinking about maybe doing a blog post with a few pictures with more close-ups and maybe some shots, some stills of me cleaning, just so you guys can see a more in-depth. If that's something that you would like, definitely let me know. Leave any questions you have below. If you want the name of the shop where I had the bad experience, please just DM me or message me on the side. But I definitely don't plan on like broadcasting that here because I'm not here to shit on anyone or their work. Like, it's just not something that I want to do. When it comes to Star and the second shop, definitely look below in the description bar or description area to get more information on them. They are awesome, super clean, professional, and I would recommend them to anyone, even anyone seeking a tattoo, because they're just that awesome. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed my story, hearing a little bit about my experience and my tips for you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.